Yeah, my name is Charlie Shrem. I'm the co-founder and CEO of a company called BitInstant. We're one of the oldest Bitcoin startups in the space. I feel like a grandfather because I've been involved 3 years and Bitcoin has only been around for about 3-4 years. A lot of you have been hearing about Bitcoin more recently in the press, and we'll just give a little bit of a discussion and explanation of what exactly Bitcoin is. I'm also the co-founder and the current vice chairman, serving as vice chairman of the Bitcoin Foundation as well, which is a DC-based nonprofit around standardizing, protecting, and promoting Bitcoin and its brand. So Bitcoin is extremely disruptive. What is Bitcoin on an extremely high level? You would relate it to something like voice over IP or email. Bitcoin is a protocol. It's a system of sending money over the internet. It's really, really important that people understand that Bitcoin is unlike any other startup. It's not a company. It's not controlled by any government or organization or corporation. It works the same way peer-to-peer file sharing works. It works similar to sending emails or using voice over IP, where no one owns this technology per se. It's not. It's open source and it's not controlled by any corporation. And Bitcoin is the same way. And you can develop startups and companies around Bitcoin to do certain things. And at the same time, Bitcoin is that unit of value that's being sent over the internet. When you're sending money somewhere in the world, there are a lot of middlemen involved. And over the years, it has become extremely, extremely hard to move money, anything except for cash. When you have cash in your hands and you want to go to a 7-Eleven, you can buy a stick of gum and it's really easy to do. But if you want to send money to somewhere like China or the Philippines or Tokyo, it can be really expensive, take a lot of time, unless you're sending it in small or large amounts. At the same time, try sending 30 cents over the internet. You can't do it without paying some fees. Even with PayPal, it could be up to 30 cents and 3% to do something like that. So what Bitcoin is, it enables strictly peer-to-peer money transfers. You look at something like remittance, right? Remittance could cost 9 to 10% to send money somewhere in the world. With Bitcoin, as long as I have a Bitcoin wallet on my phone and someone has a Bitcoin wallet somewhere in China, I can send them money, $1 million fairly instantly with no fees. There are many stories where, I'll just give you one example. There was someone in China who needed a kidney transplant about 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, and the hospital wouldn't operate on him until he actually got the money. And from someone who got stitches in Mexico, they won't actually operate on you until they literally have the credit card machine like on the operating table. They won't operate on you unless you pay them. But this guy didn't have any of his money because he was in New York. All of his money was in America. So what we did was he called me up and he said, "Charlie, I need to get some money here as soon as possible to pay this hospital." He had money in New York. He sent me a wire transfer locally here in New York. It took about 5 minutes. Then I sent someone Bitcoins in China, which took about a few seconds. That person then went to the hospital and paid the hospital for him. And what we did there was, instead of me asking this guy to lend me $30,000, I literally sent him that value. I sent him the money instantly. So you can set up, Bitcoin is like cash with wings. You can literally set up local centers across the world. I don't even like using presentations. Where you can set up local locations across the world to make global transfers local. So with our company, BitInstant, you're able to walk into any 7-Eleven, CVS, Walmart, Duane Reade, Walgreens, and buy Bitcoins. When you do that, you're able to take the Bitcoins on your phone and send it to someone anywhere in the world, the Philippines, for example. And once you do that, someone in the Philippines can walk into one of our other locations and withdraw the cash. So if I have cash on my hands now, someone can have cash in their hands in an hour. The total fee was 1 to 2%. And that's just what our company is focusing on. There's a company that's focusing on paywalls using Bitcoin. Imagine the ability, instead of paying $12 a month on the Wall Street Journal, you can do something where you're paying a few cents to read an article. Most people would do that and may revive print media. We don't want to be putting our credit card information and having to pay a lot of this money. Think about someone who uploads a YouTube video somewhere in the world and wants to get paid or donation. He's able to do that now with Bitcoin, as Bitcoin is extremely global. It's a peer-to-peer system of sending money, and what we need right now is we need more entrepreneurs, we need more infrastructure, we need more, this is my foundation hat, we need a lot more building of Bitcoin. There's a lot of good and negative press around Bitcoin now. A lot of the negative press, unfortunately, is really inaccurate, where they're saying things like Bitcoin has been hacked, but it's really important to understand that Bitcoin can't be hacked, or it could be hacked, but all the code is open source, and you have some of the world's best minds constantly trying to hack it and look into it. And you have some of the world's best minds at the same time defending Bitcoin, just like you have things like voice over IP and email. The things that were hacked were, exchange sites or different companies in and around Bitcoin. But when your bank account gets hacked into or your credit card gets stolen, you don't come and say the dollar was hacked. We can go into Bitcoin for a long time, but it looks like my time is up, so thank you, everyone.